Good evening and welcome to our National Honor Society induction this evening. This is Mrs. Pereira and Mrs. Farias, with the co-advisors to the National Honor Society. We're very proud of each and every one of you. It's going to be an exciting evening. You could all just take a moment, please, and we'll salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everyone. As Mrs. Farias said, I am Mrs. Pereira, I'm the co-advisor of the National Honor Society, and I am also the assistant principal. And I would like to welcome everyone to the high school. Obviously, we're very excited to be up here and doing this event in person and having all of your family here with us tonight, because last year we were able to have the event, but we had to do, obviously, some COVID restrictions. So we're very, very pleased to see all of your beautiful faces and welcome you here to this very, very exciting night. We would also like to extend a very sincere message from Dr. Belsford. You will notice that she's not here this evening, and unfortunately, she is ill. She is going to be okay, but we have given her an administrative directive that she's not allowed to be in the building tomorrow, so if anyone sees her creeping in the windows or the doors, you tell us, and we'll make sure that she's not here. She needs her rest, and then hopefully we'll see her on Friday. She really, really, really misses this event, because for her, for me, for all of us, Mrs. DeCudo as well, these are the types of events that really fill our spirit, I should say, because it's been a challenging 2 years for everyone, and we love to celebrate our students and our families, and it's just been very challenging. So it's always nice to have a very special night to honor all of you and your academic achievements. So again, she apologizes that she could not be here, and again, you all know what your plan is tomorrow to see her around, okay? We're going to get started with Mr. Schoonover, Superintendent of Schools, who would like to say a few words.
Thank you, Mrs. Pereira. Good evening, Jeff Schoonover, proud superintendent of Somerset Berkley Regional School District, and tonight I'm wearing a second hat as proud father of one of tonight's inductees. I want to welcome all of our families, guests, administrators, staff who are here this evening. I know we have some current members of the National Honor Society who are here, but also especially to tonight's inductees into the Untitled Chapter of the NHS here at Somerset Berkley. I want to extend my sincere gratitude to Mrs. Pereira and Mrs. Farias for their years of service to our school community and serving in this role as NHS advisors, leading this group and helping to organize this event year after year on your behalf. Tonight, we recognize you for your academic accomplishments, your scholarship, as well as your service to the community, your leadership, and your character, which, as we know, make up the 4 pillars of NHS. While your achievements in the classroom really got you that initial invitation to be here this evening, it was your demonstration of those other 3 pillars, service, character, and leadership, that actually got you here tonight. NHS defines character as the personal commitment to ethical and compassionate decision-making that affects oneself and others. Traits of sound character include perseverance, treating others with respect, demonstrating ethical behavior, and having integrity. It is no coincidence that these same traits are those that are embodied within the Somerset Berkley mission of the graduate. Resilience, digital citizenship, empathy, and respect. These are the attributes that will serve you well throughout life. Last week, I emailed our inductees, asking them just to share with me some of the more memorable and influential teachers that they've had from preschool through today. I want to know what made these teachers in the classroom so special. The responses I received really came as no surprise. Students cited teachers who had high expectations, who challenged them in the classroom and pushed their thinking. The most common thread that I read was about teachers who created this sense of safety and belonging in their classes, besides making the classes fun and engaging. And you described these teachers as treating students with the utmost kindness and respect. And because of that, in their classes, you felt valued. So I just wanted to kind of relate this to how I want you, as when you are reflecting on these teachers, I want you to reflect on how you want others to recall moments with you in life. Treating others with kindness, compassion, and respect, whether it's in person or through digital media, will bring more happiness to them as it will to you. As current and future leaders, people will be far more likely to remember you for the way that you treated them, rather than the accomplishments that you will achieve. You represent the vision of Somerset Berkley and what we want all of our students to be. So I thank you for your contributions to our school community and for demonstrating and modeling to your peers what it means to be honored. So I extend my sincere congratulations to all of you for this well-deserved achievement and recognition tonight. Thank you.
Sorry for that. We are now going to start with our speeches from our officers, and they will be coming up and they will read their speeches that are dedicated to leadership, service, character, and scholarship. They will also be lighting the candles to represent each one of the pillars as well. So I would like to first call to the stage Catherine Hinvis, who will be discussing leadership.
Good evening, everyone. I have a story I want to share with all of you tonight. It's a tale written by Robert Glazer about 3 different leaders, their teams, and a high jump bar. The first leader sets the bar high, jumps over it, then watches as everyone else struggles to clear the same height. The leader is trying to lead by example, but they're frustrated that everyone else can't make it over as easily as they did. Their team members, however, see this task as so out of reach they get discouraged and give up. The second leader senses their team members are struggling with the bar, so they lower the bar, ensuring that everyone can make it over comfortably. Everyone on the team temporarily feels better about themselves for having cleared the low height, but the performance of the team stagnates over time. However, there's a third approach. The third leader sets the bar even higher than the first leader. Instead of jumping over themselves and waiting for the team to join them, they instead stay with their team, coach them, support them, and offer each member a boost in the attempt to get over the bar. The leader encourages the team to reach levels they have never considered before. After reading this story for the first time, I thought, what does this even mean? I sat for a while thinking about what I had just read and came up with 3 great takeaways that I wanted to share with you. The first is, as a leader, you should set the bar high. Although not everyone will be able to get over the bar, having great expectations for your team is better than having low ones. Setting the bar high will always inspire successes, even if it takes time and practice to reach it. This leads me to my second takeaway. In order to have your team achieve something great, a leader must be there to help, support, and cheer on your team members. A leader who stands alongside their team through any challenge is a leader who ensures triumph. Success as a whole cannot be obtained by one individual. It must be achieved through teamwork, hard work, and encouragement. Even when morale is down, a great leader must be able to positively influence and inspire others. My third takeaway is to not give up. Things will always be hard. If a leader gives up, the rest of the team will just throw in the towel. If no one is committed to reaching a goal, a team will never accomplish anything. Progress is progress, and success is success. Coaches will always see losses, students will always have a bad grade, and presidents will never have a 100% support rate. When a team gets knocked down, a leader is there to pick them back up. You are all sitting in this room because someone has seen potential in you. You have stood out amongst the crowd through your character, scholarship, service, and leadership. People believe in you to lead them when things get hard. But how can you improve? Look for good leaders in your life. Follow them and learn from them. Practice what you learn, and as you do, people will want to follow and learn from you. If you look at our world right now, it is clear that we need good leaders more than ever. It may sound cliche, but our generation houses the future leaders of the world. Our time will come, and when it does, we need to be ready to step up and take charge. And to close with a quote from John Quincy Adams, if your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader. Thank you so much, and congratulations to all the inductees on your hard work and successes.
Next, we would like to call up Mackenzie Shea, our Vice President, who will be discussing service.
Hi everyone. I just want to say congratulations, even though you're going to hear it a lot tonight, like a lot. Well, we already know 5. You're going to hear it a lot. But we all really mean it. Congratulations on your induction to the National Honor Society. We take this evening to recognize you, all of your hard work and dedication towards accomplishing this milestone. Now, I know that you all must have completed your 20 hours of community service to be here today getting inducted, just as I did. And just a year ago, I sat where you're sitting, and I bet you're thinking what I thought. Wow, this is great. I'm all done with my community service. Well, no. When I first thought that, I soon realized that I was wrong in more ways than one. Firstly, we actually have to do 5 more hours of community service each year because we're in the National Honor Society, and that's important, as we should, because service is important. But I was also wrong because, truthfully, you are never done with service. Community service may be required in high school, and maybe even college if that's your future, but afterward, it isn't a box that you can check off your to-do list to graduate. It's an experience that you have to want for yourself, and I truly hope that whether in large or small ways, we can all engage in acts of service even when we aren't required to do so. I'm also a firm believer that some of the best stories come out of moments that you least expect. In fact, one of my favorite high school stories comes from a time I was volunteering, actually 3 years ago today, on March 16th, so kind of ironic. It was the day after our freshman semi-formal dance, and my friend Nicole and I decided to volunteer at a special education activities fair in Taunton. First off, I want to say that as girls from, Somerset and Berkley, we didn't know how to dance, so we spent most of the night before just jumping up and down. And we still don't know how to dance, we probably didn't do that on Friday at Black and White. So, needless to say, our calves were really, really sore. So, bright and early at 7 a.m., we limped into Taunton High School to volunteer. And we met with the organizer and her young son, Thomas. Now, we were given a very, very simple task. We had to man the welcome table and direct visitors to certain booths throughout the fair, as well as watch our new little friend, Thomas. And now, Thomas could recite all of the 50 states and their capitals, and he was 4 at the time. On a little side note, when I was 4, I'm pretty sure I was still eating chalk and crayons, but he was definitely just way cooler than us. So I was really excited to hang out with him throughout the day. Before the fair opened, the 3 of us were in the gymnasium, making our way through the gym, looking at all the activities that were setting up. Now, there were some very interesting booths that had popped up, including one for yoga balls. So, we're sore, we're marching onto the yoga balls, and we get distracted. It's a yoga ball. So after absolutely embarrassing myself on one, I decide I'm over it, and I leave Nicole and went back to our table to sit down, thinking that Thomas was with her. When she came back out, when she was done, he wasn't with her. I could have sworn he was with Nicole, and Nicole could have sworn that he was with me. He wasn't with either of us, quite frankly, and we were like, oh my god, where did he go? I was just thinking over and over in my head, how are we going to tell this really nice lady that we lost her 4-year-old son in the first 15 minutes of being here? We're supposed to be here for like 4 hours watching him. That's embarrassing. But thankfully, within 5 minutes, we found him not far away playing with another group of little girls on the hall. I guess we were more similar than we thought, even though he was 4 and we were 15 years old. Needless to say, we paid a lot of attention to him for the rest of the day. Good thing that we did. This is one of my favorite stories because truly it was really fate that we ended up there, and then we got to meet Thomas and a bunch of other wonderful people. It's not like we were required to volunteer, volunteer at this fair. It was actually really random that we were there that day at all. This story always reminds me that getting involved not only helps others, but can give you some great stories, memories, friendships, and teach you some important lessons, like to watch others. I also want to close by saying that service isn't always just volunteering. Service could be holding the door open for others, smiling to the people you pass in the hallways, saying thank you to the barista serving your obscenely overpriced $6 iced caramel macchiato, and I'm talking to myself here. Starbucks is my big spot. Sorry. Service can really be anything you make it. It can be all the little interactions we take for granted, small gestures and kindness. It doesn't take the formal way of volunteering to make a difference. And although community service is an important part of our world, small acts of service can do the trick too. We should all remember that a small act of service isn't always so small. What may seem small to you may change someone's day in a way that you never thought it could. We all have no idea the impact we can make simply with a smile. So congratulations.
Next, we would like to call up our secretary, Mia Russ, that will be discussing character.
Hi everyone! Congratulations on your induction into the National Honor Society. As inductees, you have proven yourselves as exemplary shows of character, academia, service, and leadership. You've outlined your fair share of history textbooks. You volunteered at food pantries. You're known as the polite kids, the pleasures to have in class. You're the kids that the administration, teachers, and students alike all count on to be leaders in our school. Tonight, we celebrate you and your contributions. Your character has made our school a better place to work and learn. The ultimate show of character in a school is making a classroom a community and not a battlefield. It's easy when you're high-achieving students like yourselves to succumb to your innate competitiveness. But I challenge you to have some self-control and some perspective on the situation. High school is not just about academics. It's about growing as a human being and learning about what you find important. I learned this within the first 3 weeks of my freshman year. It was CPR training day in gym class, and probably 50 of us were seated on the gym bleachers. And in walks 2 cool elderly men. I'm horrible at remembering names, but what I do remember was that one was named Bob, and the other was bald. Anyways, these 2 military veterans and survivors of sudden cardiac arrest began their lesson on CPR with a warning to the class. If you spoke out of turn, you would be kicked out. And in addition to the shame of being kicked out of the gym class, your graduation would be in jeopardy because the CPR training was a requirement. All was going well. They taught us how to do compressions to the tune of staying alive, and they taught us how to do the Heimlich on a baby. But then we came to the part of the lesson on allergic reactions. Now, a little background, I was seated in the bleachers next to a very good friend of mine who hates needles. But Bob doesn't know this, so he says in his very enthusiastic way that if we are ever having an allergic reaction and we go into anaphylactic shock, all we have to do is stab ourselves in the thigh with an EpiPen. And with a swift and abrupt movement, Bob took what we later learned was a fake EpiPen and jabbed it right into his leg. Charmingly, he looked at all of our shocked faces and told us it was fake. but it was too late. Completely mortified, my friend said to me, "I think I'm gonna pass out." And I said, "Shh, you're gonna get us in trouble." And then she promptly passed out on top of me. This wasn't my best moment, nor did I show stellar character, but it was definitely a learning experience to say the least. If you were to ask me as a freshman what good character looked like in a student, I would have said kids who didn't bully or make fun of each other. And that's true, but I think it's more than that. As a senior looking back, I have to say that loyalty is the most important quality for a student with character to have. It's about recognizing and respecting the effort that it takes to be a student. It's about empathizing with each other, because we're all going through the same shared experience that is high school. It's about showing people a little bit of leniency when they're having a bad day. It's about seeing each other as humans first and students second. Having good character as a student is about being loyal to each other and dedicated to not making a bad day worse. As members of the National Honor Society, be loyal to each other and look out for each other's best interests. Don't shush your friends and, catch them when they pass out. Surround yourself with a community of people that you support and who support you. Now, I'm going to end with a piece of advice that, as a freshman, I wouldn't have understood, but now, 4 years later, I have come to realize is a way of life. Prioritize your friends first. Now, hear me out. I don't mean attend every party, and I don't mean ignore all of your homework to go eat at Chili's. You're going to come to a time in your academic career where you don't have the push anymore. You don't have the energy to keep going. You're going to come to a time where you're not getting straight A's and doing your homework is exhausting. At this time, you're going to need friends who give you that energy, who support you in your efforts. You're going to need friends who want you to succeed, maybe more than you want yourself to succeed at that time. You're going to need friends who are okay with you not going to every single night out because maybe you just need a night off, or maybe you need to spend a night doing work. You need friends who are loyal to you and to your well-being and to your success. Find those friends and be those high-quality friends for each other, because that is the key to high school. Once again, congratulations on your induction, and I hope you all have a great night.
Next, we would like to call up our treasurer, Sydney Dufresne, who will discuss scholarship.
Hi everyone, my name is Sydney, and I'd just like to give my congratulations to all of you for this great achievement. I know you are going to hear this throughout the entire night, but you should be proud of yourself. And I think I can speak for everyone here in saying that we are proud of all of you. I'm here to talk about the pillar of scholarship in regards to the National Honor Society. Unfortunately, it is not the type of scholarship that will give you money for college. However, I'm sure that all of you will know a lot of this too. I'm here to talk about and celebrate scholarship in terms of your commitment to learning. By sitting here, I can tell all of you are dedicated to your studies, inside and outside of school. I resonate with and recognize all those long nights making sure that you turn in your assignments on time, and all those vacations filled with studying for classes. In the years where everything became virtual and your classes seemed optional, you were able to rise above those challenges and dedicate yourself to furthering your education. Scholarship isn't just showing your commitments to your classes, but also a commitment to learning in general. My favorite dedication to scholarship is learning new fun facts every day. Every night at 7:30, I turn on the TV to tune into the newest episode of Jeopardy! Even though it is not the same how Alex direct, the enjoyment of trying to answer questions while gaining an assortment of random knowledge is a way that shows a fun aspect to this commitment to learning. I recently got to play my own form of Jeopardy! For our school's Model Young Adults Academic World Quest. I studied for 2 weeks on topics and questions I thought they were going to ask and hoped of getting first place and taking my team to Washington, D.C. I know I saw some of you there in the athlete and one person. Unfortunately, we had lost in the second half to this insanely smart team. But nevertheless, I learned so much information I would have never learned in my regular classes, and found myself enjoying this value of scholarship and sharing it with my friends. I learned an unnecessary amount of information about cryptocurrency, but I also got to flex all the current events I learned in Mr. Pruitt's honor class. Even though you have reached this landmark of sitting here right now, your commitment to scholarship never ends. There are always new things to learn about every day. There is a never-ending search for knowledge your whole life. And although you think you may know everything, no one ever does. Your scholarship should never end, and there can always be a thing to learn. The more you are able to dedicate yourself to learning, the more you can be involved in the world around you. A fun fact for today that Mr. Cray wanted me to tell you is that facts are fun, so. At this age, like Taylor Swift says, when you're young, they assume you know nothing. Well, let me tell you, I think that each and every one of you have the power to change the world through knowledge. As part of the vision of the graduate, you're all resilient and academic graders. So throughout your life, you'll be achieving new heights in knowledge and scholarship, and have potential to be anything you want. If I could give you one piece of advice, it would be to never stop finding joy in learning new things. I know at times school can be boring, and you never want to pick up a book. There are so many outlets that you can learn something new and add to a new fact you were before. Albert Einstein once said that the only source of knowledge is experience. So I think that everyone finds their commitment to learning in a different way, and scholarship can be defined and forced in many different ways. Whether it is learning all the presidents in order or the elements of the periodic table, you never know when random knowledge will be needed, and the importance of knowledge will be there with you throughout your whole life. As Mia Russ once said, be smart and it gets you places.
I would just like to ask again that we give a nice round of applause to our officers, because we know how difficult it is to come up and to speak in front of our peers and our families. And I must say, we've been doing this for a long time, and I was extremely proud to read and edit the speeches, because I felt there was so much genuine comments throughout all of their speeches, which we sometimes don't see. I think people feel like on this night, and it's always about academics, and we have to make sure that we have this perfect speech, and we have to make sure that it sounds really, really smart, and I have to put 1,000 quotes in there. But as we can tell with all of their speeches, they really spoke from the heart, and they all shared something about them personally that I think just makes it so much more meaningful. So I would like to say thank you very much, and congratulations again to the officers. So now we will get to our actual ceremony for our new inductees. And I would like to just mention, as our officers mentioned tonight, the 4 pillars being at the forefront of this ceremony. One of the more difficult things that we have to do sometimes, and we always address it here with all of our students, is to reiterate the importance of these 4 pillars, because at this time, and once you're inducted, you are, as the officers mentioned, role models for our students and our faculty and everyone else in the community. If at any point you were to make a bad choice, that would unfortunately, I guess, require you to be dismissed from the group. We want to make sure that we all understand that that is a serious matter, and we do have to handle that quickly, and we know sometimes it's very uncomfortable for you and for our families, but we also want to make sure that you know that you're being held at this highest level of academic achievement with your scholarship, leadership, service, and character. So we don't want to dwell on it, but we always like everyone to know what the expectation is moving forward after our ceremony. Now I know that everyone's going to make great choices. I know that everyone's going to have a fantastic day tomorrow, and you're going to be proud to walk around and say that you've become a member of the National Honor Society, and I hope that you share that enthusiasm with your fellow classmates. I also would like to say, because Michael's staring right at me, this is the group of my last students. I switched over from the classroom, right at the pandemic. I was bored and I said, like, what else could I do? March 13, 2020, you know, we leave the classroom and Michael and other students said to me, Senora, like, I'll see you in 2 weeks, right? You bet. And that didn't happen. So for 2 weeks, turning into months, I wrote them every night, and they wrote me. And it was something that I will never forget, and I just wanted to say thank you. So, as we move on to the happy part of the ceremony, we are going to have Mrs. Dakuda, and she is going to be helping us with the distribution of your certificate. Inside the folder, we have your certificate, as well as your National Honor Society membership card. Mrs. Dakuda is very proud, I'm sure as well, and also very happy that tonight some of her favorite things were mentioned. So back to the fun facts, Taylor Swift, Starbucks. I mean, her eyes were like, oh, it's the best night ever. They're saying all these things for me. So thank you very much for making her night as well.
We'll have you step up row by row. Okay, so we'll go through the first row and we'll give you the heads up for the next. So row one.
Follow you right to the side.
Matthew Almeida. Parents, you're welcome to come up, take pictures if you need to. We'll stay late to accommodate the parents and their photos. How's that? Elizabeth Anderson. Lexi Avalar. Bavli Aziz. Schechter. Sophia Schoonover. Emily Shea. Faith Sylvia. Gabrielle Sylvia. Davis Sullivan. Reese Swanson. Ava Tavares. Jordan Ferriero. Cole Travers. Now, if you would, each of the inductees could stand for a moment. We're going to have you recite the National Honor Society pledge, which you'll find inside your folder on the left-hand side. Are we ready? We'll do it together. I pledge to uphold the high purposes of the National Honor Society, to which I have been selected. I will be true to the principles for which it stands. I will be loyal to my school and will maintain and encourage high standards of scholarship, leadership, service, and character. Congratulations to each and every one of you. One thing you've got to remember, I'm going to talk off the cuff for a minute. Always remember, you're going to have tough days sometimes, but you are far, far stronger than you can ever imagine. Trust me on that one. That kind of fun. But anyway, you got to sit there and go, how am I going to do this? You can fight through anything, okay? So always remember that. Great job, excellent. Congratulations to your parents as well. Awesome job. You have great kids. We get to see them from when they start as freshmen all the way to growing up into seniors, and it's cool for us too. Also, we want to thank our school committee, people from the town that help us, all our personnel that works here at the high school that helps out in tremendous ways to get these evenings done. We thank you all. Congratulations.